Management. It's a term that, well, it pops up everywhere, doesn't it? Whether you're thinking about your own career, maybe leading a project, or just wondering how organizations actually, get things done.
Mm-hmm.
From individual contributors right up to CEOs. And even if you're just curious about how stuff works, understanding management seems pretty key.
Absolutely. And that's really what we're aiming for in this deep dive. We've gone through quite a bit of material to
Yeah.
sort of pull out the core ideas, the historical journey, and the practical side of management. Think of it like getting the essentials without, drowning in detail.
Right, distilling it down.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We want to give you the most valuable nuggets.
Perfect. Especially for you, our listener. Maybe you like to learn efficiently, get right to the important stuff. We're hoping this gives you a really clear understanding, maybe a few aha moments along the way,
Hopefully.
whether you're prepping for something, getting up to speed, or just plain curious. So let's jump in. Okay, at its core, what is management really trying to achieve?
Well, fundamentally, management is about using an organization's resources strategically.
Resources like?
It's people, it's physical assets, buildings, equipment, that kind of thing, and it's finances, all aimed at reaching the organization's goals.
Okay.
There's a classic definition from Mary Parker Follett. She said, management is the art of getting things done through people.
Ah, I've heard that one. It's simple but effective.
It really is. And it's amazing how relevant it still feels, especially now with remote teams and everything. It underlines that it's not just about your individual work.
Right. It's not about being the star player doing everything yourself. It's about enabling the whole team.
Precisely. It's about making sure everyone contributes effectively. So the real difference between a manager and, say, an individual contributor.
Yeah, what is that key distinction?
The critical thing is that managers are responsible for the results achieved by their group, their team. They coordinate the efforts of others. An individual contributor, they're accountable for their own tasks. A manager's accountability is for the collective output.
Got it. And this coordination, it happens at different levels in a company, right?
Yes, exactly. Think about the typical organizational structure, those layers.
Can you give us a quick rundown of those?
Sure. So at the base level, you've got your first-line managers.
Like supervisors, team leads.
Exactly. Supervisors, team leaders, they're directly overseeing the day-to-day work, implementing the plans from higher up.
Okay.
Then above them, you find middle managers. Think HR managers, IT managers, maybe regional managers.
Yeah.
They support the first-line managers, make sure they have resources, and crucially, they act as a bridge. They communicate between the front lines and senior leadership.
That sounds like a tough spot sometimes.
It can be. And then at the top, you have upper management, your CEOs, CFOs, VPs, the C-suite.
The big picture people.
Right. They're making the major strategic decisions, setting the long-term course for the whole organization.
Okay, so across these levels, what are the main things managers do? What are their core jobs?
Well, the sources we looked at generally point to 5 key functions. First off, planning.
Setting goals, figuring out how to get there.
Exactly. Defining objectives and the strategies to reach them. Second is organizing and staffing.
Structuring the work, getting the right people.
Yep. Structuring tasks, recruiting, placing people in the right roles. Third is leading and motivating.
Guiding the team, keeping them engaged.
Guiding and inspiring employees to perform well. Fourth is coordinating.
Making sure everyone's on the same page.
Precisely. Communicating objectives, plans, results clearly so everyone's aligned. And the fifth crucial function is controlling.
Controlling, that sounds a bit authoritarian.
Maybe the word sounds that way, but it really means measuring performance, integrating different activities, and taking corrective action when things go off track, keeping things aligned with the plan.
Ah, okay. Measuring and adjusting. Makes sense. So management seems very focused on the practicalities, the how. We also hear leadership a lot. Are they the same thing?
Good question. They're related, definitely overlap, but there's a difference in emphasis. Management often focuses more on, let's say, the immediate tasks, ensuring efficiency.
Getting the job done today, this week.
Right. Daily operations, specific projects. Leadership tends to take a broader view. It's more about inspiring and motivating the workforce by painting a compelling picture, a vision for the whole organization.
Okay, so managers handle the doing things right, maybe, and leaders handle doing the right things. I think I heard that somewhere.
That's actually a famous Peter Drucker quote. Management is doing things right, leadership is doing the right things. It captures that distinction really well.
Ah, Drucker's right.
So managers might train, delegate, monitor progress, give rewards, standard stuff. Leaders inspire, they communicate the why.
The purpose behind it all.
Exactly, helping people see how their work fits into the bigger picture, the company's mission.
That's a powerful difference. So you need both then.
Yeah.
A great vision is useless without good execution.
Precisely. You absolutely need both strong management and effective leadership for an organization to truly thrive. Good management handles the short-term efficiency.
Keeps the wheels turning.
Right. And strong leadership provides that long-term direction, the adaptability you need for sustained success.
Okay, this is fascinating. Now, people have been, managing projects and groups forever, but when did management become like a thing, a discipline? Can you give us a quick history lesson?
Sure. If you look way back, early civilizations, Middle Ages, formal management as we think of it now wasn't really there.
Right. Armies, maybe, or building pyramids.
Armies had hierarchy, definitely an early model, but large projects often used forced labor. Feudalism had indentured servants managing land, but not really modern management principles. The huge shift really started with the Industrial Revolution.
Around 1750 onwards?
Roughly, yeah.
Yeah.
1750 to 1900, massive move to industrialized society, specialized skills, global markets opening up because travel got easier.
Factories needed organizing.
Big time. Then, 1900 to about 1960, you see the rise of large corporations. And with that came the need for professional mid-level management, that layer we talked about. It became standard.
Okay. And then things went global.
Exactly. Starting around the 1970s, you see more multinational corporations, more mergers, air travel, teleconferencing. It suddenly became feasible to manage operations across continents.
And then the internet changed everything again.
Profoundly. The 21st century. Rapid information flow, the rise of remote work, it's all reshaped management.
Oh, and worth mentioning, back in the late 19th century, industrial psychology started emerging.
How does that fit in?
It wasn't strictly a management theory, but it brought tools for measuring worker performance using data, which, indirectly fed into how management thought about efficiency and productivity.
It's amazing how technology and society really drive how we manage things. Now, you mentioned management theories. Are these just like academic ideas, or do they actually affect how businesses run day to day? Oh, they absolutely have a real-world impact. Think about it. Despite all the changes, some core management challenges are evergreen.
Like motivating people, getting things done efficiently, dealing with conflict.
Exactly. Those things don't really go away. Management theories offer different frameworks, different lenses for understanding and tackling these persistent issues.
Okay, so maybe we can run through a few of the big ones quickly. What are the core ideas?
Sure. One of the earliest big ones was scientific management from Frederick Taylor.
Efficiency, right? Stopwatches and stuff.
Pretty much. Analyzing workflows to squeeze out maximum efficiency. Then the Gilbreths, Frank and Lillian, did time motion studies trying to eliminate wasted movements, make tasks smoother.
Streamlining.
Yep. Mary Parker, Follett, her again, focused on group dynamics, how groups influence decisions, collaboration. Very forward-thinking.
Okay.
W. Edwards Deming brought statistical process control, using data, statistics to improve quality. Hugely influential in Japan, especially.
Quality management.
Right. Then you have Douglas McGregor's theories X and Y. Two opposing views on workers. Theory X assumes people dislike work and need pushing.
The stick approach.
Kind of. And Theory Y assumes people are naturally motivated and want responsibility.
The carrot. Or just trust.
More about trust and creating the right environment. Then there's total quality management, or TQM, continuous improvement across the board.
Always getting better.
Edwin Locke's goal-setting theory basically says clear, challenging goals boost performance. The theory of constraints focuses on finding and fixing the biggest bottleneck in any system.
Find the weakest link.
Essentially, Peter Drucker's management by objectives, or MBO managers and employees set goals together and track progress.
Collaborative goal setting.
Yep. And one more management by walking around, MBWA. Simple idea. Manager get out of their offices, talk to people informally, see what's going on.
Getting out on the floor.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Informal feedback, staying connected.
Wow, that's quite a range of ideas. Now, it seems clear that you wouldn't just pick one theory and apply it everywhere, right?
Yeah.
What determines the best management style for a situation?
Oh, absolutely. Context is everything. The type of business is huge. Manufacturing might lean towards more structure, top-down control for consistency.
Makes sense. Can't have wonky products.
Right. A service business might need more collaboration, customer focus. Idea industries like tech often have looser, more flexible management.
Adapting to the work.
Yep. Competition matters too. High competition. You probably need a really clear, consistent strategy. Low competition. Strong management is still needed, maybe to avoid getting lazy or complacent.
Don't rest on your laurels.
Exactly. And then there are all the external factors, the economy, what workers expect these days, the market for your products. All that shapes how you need to manage.
Okay, that makes total sense. Context is king. Now, at the heart of all this managing, it feels like decisions are being made constantly. How do managers approach that?
Decision-making is absolutely central. It's everything from spotting a problem, exploring solutions, choosing between options, prioritizing. It's constant.
And you don't always have all the facts. Right.
Rarely. Decisions happen in different environments. There's certainty, the outcome of each choice. Very rare in business.
Yeah, I bet.
More common is risk you can assign probabilities to outcomes, maybe based on past data. And then there's uncertainty where you have very little reliable info to predict what might happen.
Flying blind almost.
Sometimes feels like it. So managers have different ways to approach making these calls.
Like what? What are the approaches?
Well, there's intuitive decision-making, going with your gut. Can be surprisingly good for complex problems when data is thin and you need speed.
Trusting experience.
Sort of, yeah.
Yeah.
Then there's rational decision-making, more systematic. Look at objectives, goals, past experience, weigh the options logically.
The analytical approach.
Right. Then the shoeistic approach, using rules of thumb, past experience to find a satisfactory solution quickly. Maybe not the absolute perfect one, but good enough.
Practical shortcuts.
Kind of. And finally, optimizing, really digging into all the alternatives to pick the very best one. Takes more time and effort, obviously.
Depends on the stakes, I guess.
Exactly. And it's worth remembering, things like biases can creep in, especially with intuitive or heuristic approaches. Good managers try to be aware of that.
And who actually makes the call? Is it always one manager? Or is it more of a team thing?
It really varies. Some companies are very top-down, centralized. Management makes the big calls. Others encourage more input from staff, maybe through meetings or just informally.
Getting feedback.
Right. And in places with strong teams, the team itself might make a lot of decisions about its own work.
Pros and cons to each.
Definitely. Individual decisions, usually faster, more consistent. But you might miss out on different perspectives. Group decisions can bring more ideas, more buy-in from everyone involved.
People support what they help create.
Often, yes. But group decisions can be slower. And sometimes you end up with a compromise that isn't really the strongest option. There are even specific techniques, like brainstorming or nominal group technique, to try and make group decisions better.
Interesting. Okay, so we've mentioned individuals and groups. How do managers structure work using these different social arrangements within the company?
Yeah, so traditionally you have individuals doing specific tasks, maybe collaborating as needed, like a standard office setup or assembly line. Then you have work groups, people doing similar tasks, maybe helping each other out, checking quality.
Okay.
But it's important to distinguish between formal groups, the ones management deliberately creates for a specific purpose, like a department or a project team.
Official structures.
Right. And informal groups, these just emerge naturally. People connect based on shared interests, friendships, social bonds. The office lunch crew, maybe?
Ah, the grapevine often starts there.
Yeah. Exactly. And within both types, you can have formal leaders appointed by management with clear responsibilities, and informal leaders, people who just naturally gain influence, build solidarity, meet the group's social needs, even without a title.
And those informal groups, they have their own rules, right? Their own vibe.
Definitely. Informal groups develop norms, unwritten rules about how members should act. They also have group cohesiveness, how much people feel connected to the group, want to stay in it.
What makes a group stick together?
Things like size, smaller groups tend to be more cohesive. How much members need each other to get work done. External threats can actually bring a group closer. Similar backgrounds often help. And just how attractive being in that group feels.
Okay, so groups can be good. Problem solving, efficiency.
Yes, lots of advantages. But disadvantages too. Informal groups might clash with formal leaders or goals. Responsibility can get diffused. Someone else will do it. And yeah, group decisions can sometimes be slower.
So double-edged sword sometimes. What about teams? How are they different from just a group?
Good question. Teams usually imply a bit more. A shared goal. Tasks that depend on each other. Members with different complementary skills working together closely.
More synergy.
That's the idea. Unlike just a work group, teams often allow for cross-training people learning each other's jobs. That brings flexibility. Leadership can be appointed by management, or sometimes teams elect their own leaders.
Self-managing teams.
Can be. And like groups, teams can be formal, clear goals, defined structure, or informal, maybe for a short project.
Yeah.
Managing individuals involves that direct evaluation, feedback, goal setting. Managing a team means guiding the whole unit, giving feedback, even if someone isn't your direct report.
Right, guiding the collective effort.
Mm,
Okay, this is all about the people side. What about bigger picture stuff?
okay.
Economics, operations. How does workforce size or the type of business affect management?
Huge impact. Workforce size definitely shapes things. Bigger company usually needs more formal structures, hierarchies, processes. Smaller business can often be more informal, quicker decisions.
Makes sense.
The type of work matters too. Manufacturing physical goods, you might focus on things like just-in-time inventory, service industry. Customer interaction is key. Digital products, different workflows again.
Tailoring the approach.
Exactly. And relationships with other businesses, suppliers, partners, customers, they all influence things. You need to understand their structures, how they work, how it impacts your deadlines, costs, what customers expect.
It's all connected.
Totally. And every business has those core day-to-day operations, right? Production, marketing, sales, finance, HR, R&D, all needing management to keep running smoothly.
It's like a complex machine with lots of moving parts. And that machine isn't isolated, is it? It's affected by the outside world.
Constantly. Businesses get inputs from their industry, competitors, customers, suppliers, regulators. That's the task environment. And then there's the broader remote environment, economic trends, social changes, technology shifts, political climate, even physical factors like geography or climate change.
Lots to keep track of.
And these environments can be complex, lots of factors, maybe not all moving in the same direction. And they're always changing. So managers need to be adaptable, responsive.
Can a company influence its environment too? Or is it always just reacting?
Good point. It's not just one way. A company can influence its environment through its actions, its market power, its leadership, how it negotiates, innovation. It's a two-way street, though often the environment feels more powerful.
So managers need to try and look ahead, anticipate changes. How do they even do that? Forecasting.
Forecasting is definitely part of strategic planning. There are methods. The Delphi technique, for instance, uses a panel of experts. They make predictions, get feedback, refine them over several rounds.
Getting expert consensus.
Sort of.
Yeah.
Another tool is using cross-impact matrices, trying to figure out how different potential future events might affect each other. It's about trying to make informed guesses about an uncertain future.
Okay. Now, we've talked a lot about structures, processes, the external world, but businesses are run by people. How has the thinking about the human factor evolved in management?
That's a really crucial evolution. Historically, you had the personnel department, often quite administrative payroll, record keeping, that sort of thing.
More paperwork focused.
Largely, yes. But especially from the mid-20th century onwards, there was this growing realization, hang on, employees aren't just costs or cogs in a machine. They're actually the company's most valuable resource.
The shift to human resources.
Exactly. Human Resources Management, or HRM, a much broader, more strategic view of managing people as assets.
So who's responsible for HRM? Just the HR department.
No, definitely not just HR. That's a common misconception. Effective HRM is really a shared responsibility.
How so?
Well, line managers, the ones directly supervising people, they're doing HRM every day through coaching, feedback, managing performance. Staff managers might handle specific functions like benefits. And then HR specialists or managers provide the expertise, develop the systems, offer advice. But everyone manages human resources to some extent.
Okay. And what does HRM actually cover? It sounds like more than just hiring and firing.
Oh, much more. It includes strategic HR planning, aligning people's strategy with business strategy, designing the organization, planning roles, staffing recruitment, selection, hiring, maintaining HR data and systems.
The admin stuff is still there.
Sure, but also shaping the work environment, culture, safety, well-being, employee development and training for everyone, performance management, setting expectations, appraisals, feedback, dealing with performance issues, compensation and benefits design and administration.
It's huge range.
It is, and the goal is positive outcomes for both the organization, productivity, commitment, adaptability, and for the individual meeting needs, job satisfaction, motivation, growth. Oh, and compliance reporting too. That's important.
Right. It sounds like HR also has to deal with a lot of complex social and legal issues now.
Absolutely. The landscape is constantly shifting. Things like equal pay, preventing discrimination, handling substance abuse issues, accommodating disabilities, integrating ex-offenders, adapting to demographic changes like an aging workforce.
Gender identity, workplace conduct.
hmm Issues around sexuality, public and media scrutiny of employment practices. It's a complex legal and social environment.
And employee expectations are changing too, aren't they?
Yeah.
What shifts are managers seeing there?
Big shifts. More demand for flexibility, flex time, remote work, pressure on compensation, maybe fewer traditional benefits in some sectors. Technology's impact efficiency gains, yes, but also overload, blurring work-life boundaries.
That always-on culture.
Right. There's a greater focus on fairness, objectivity in decisions, more concern for health, safety, overall quality of life. And the workforce itself is changing. Different education levels, values, work ethics across generations, people being under or overqualified. Managers need to adapt to all that.
So when a company actually needs to hire someone, what's the typical process HR goes through?
The traditional staffing process usually starts with HR planning, figuring out future needs based on strategy, turnover forecasts, etc., maybe looking 1-5 years out.
Okay.
Then you define the job specifications, list the required skills, knowledge, abilities, position descriptions, detail the actual duties.
Get specific about the role.
Yep. Then recruiting, casting the net to find qualified candidates, various methods used there, followed by selection screening applications, interviews, maybe tests, background checks.
Narrowing it down.
Right. Then hiring, making the offer, negotiating terms. And finally, orientation or onboarding, helping the new person settle in, learn the culture, the ropes, plus ongoing training and development. And forecasting future changes, who might leave, who might get promoted, feeds back into planning.
It's a whole cycle. Now, a sensitive topic, stress and burnout. That seems increasingly common. What's management's role there?
It's a huge issue. Stress from feeling overwhelmed, burnout leading to exhaustion, cynicism, even PTSD in extreme cases.
What causes it? Work, life.
Can be a mix. Work pressures, sure. But also family, social issues, personal stuff. The consequences for the company are real absenteeism, lost productivity, healthcare costs.
So what can managers do?
They have a critical role in creating a supportive environment. That might mean wellness programs, promoting health, employee assistance programs, EAPs, offering counseling, even looking at job design, workload distribution. Can the work itself be made more sustainable? It's about recognizing the human cost and trying to mitigate it.
Important stuff. Okay, we've talked a lot about people. Let's swing back to broader planning. We touched on it, but can we go a bit deeper into strategic planning?
Definitely. Planning is basically setting objectives and figuring out how to achieve them. Can be formal, written down, or more informal. Tools like SWOT analysis, strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, threats are common.
Analyzing the situation.
Right. And the planning and control cycle plan, do, check, act, provides a continuous loop. Formal planning has advantages: clarity, integrated effort, better resource allocation, links to other functions.
Downsides.
Can be inflexible if things change fast. Plans might be based on bad assumptions. You need to be aware of the risks.
And there are different levels of planning, right?
Correct. Usually 3 main levels: strategic or corporate planning, long-term, 3 to 5+ years, asking what businesses should we be in?
Big picture direction.
Yep. Then business level planning, also maybe 3-5 years, focuses on how do we compete effectively in this market?
Competitive strategy.
Right. And functional planning, shorter term, variable timeframes, outlines what each department, marketing, finance, operations will actually do to support the bigger plans.
And cascading down.
Exactly. And underpinning all this is corporate culture, the shared values, beliefs that really affects whether employees buy into the plans and help make them happen long term.
Culture eats strategy for breakfast, as they say.
That's the saying. Now, when planning, we talk about objectives and goals. Are they the same? Often used interchangeably, but there's a subtle difference in management terms. Objectives are usually SMART: specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, time-bound.
Like increase market share by 15% in 2 years.
Exactly. Very concrete. Goals tend to be broader, more aspirational, maybe not easily measured or time-bound. Become the industry leader might be a goal.
Visionary versus specific targets.
Kind of. The big objectives start at the top and then get broken down into smaller, specific objectives for each level, each department, ensuring alignment.
And what kind of areas do companies set objectives for?
Key areas usually include profitability, markets, share, penetration, products, innovation, quality, finance, ROI, cash flow, facilities, capacity, location, innovation itself, organizational structure, and, of course, human resources.
Okay, so we have the plan, the objectives. Now we need to guide people there back to leadership.
Back to leadership. While management covers broader functions, leadership is specifically about creating that vision and influencing people's activities towards the goals. It's related to power and authority.
Power versus authority.
Power is just the ability to influence. Authority is the legitimate right to give commands, usually based on your position. Effective leadership relies more on authority and influence, not just raw power.
Got it. And there are different leadership styles, right? Autocratic, democratic.
Yep, those are common classifications. Autocratic. Leader makes decisions alone. Democratic. Leader involves the team. Laissez-faire. Leader is very hands-off. Delegates a lot.
Any others?
We also talk about orientations. Task-oriented leaders focus on getting the job done. People-oriented leaders focus on team well-being and relationships. Some models, like the Blake-Mouton grid, look at combinations: high task, high people, low task, high people, etc.
Trying to find the sweet spot. And did researchers ever try to just find the magic traits of leaders? Like, are leaders born, not made?
The traitist theories. Yes, they tried that early on. Tried to find universal traits like Ghiselli's 6, initiative, self-confidence, etc., that all good leaders shared.
Did it work?
Not really. The problem is effective leaders have all sorts of different traits, and someone who's great in one situation might flop in another. So the trait approach is seen as pretty weak now. Leadership seems more complex than just having the right personality.
So maybe it's about what leaders do, their behavior.
Exactly. That led to behavioral theories, focusing on observable actions. McGregor's theory X and Y fit here too, how your assumptions about people affect your behavior as a leader.
Okay.
The University of Michigan studies identified employee-centered versus production-centered behaviors. Like Kurt developed 4 systems from authoritative to participative. And Blake and Mouton's grid map styles based on concern for people versus production.
So still searching for the best way.
Well, the next step was realizing maybe there isn't one single best way. It depends.
Contingency theories.
Exactly. Theories like Hersey-Blanchard's situational leadership, Fiedler's model, path goal theory, Vroom-Yetton, they all say the best leadership style is contingent on the situation.
Factors like
The follower's readiness or skills, the nature of the task, the organizational environment, you adapt your style. Then you also have ideas like transactional leadership, exchange-based, versus transformational leadership, inspiring change.
It's complicated.
It is. And underlying all leadership is motivation. While motivation comes from within, the leader's job is to create an environment where people can be motivated, often by meeting their needs.
Okay. Planning, leading.
Yeah.
Now, structuring the work itself. Organizing. Can we revisit that?
Sure. Organizing is about grouping activities and setting up relationships to use resources effectively. What affects the structure? Lots of things.
Like company size.
Size, stage of growth, how stable or dynamic the environment is, the company's strategy, the technology it uses, the type of production, the kind of control needed, all influence the best structure.
From simple lines to complex matrix structures.
Right. Line, informal, matrix, bureaucratic. Delegation and empowerment are key concepts too. Size, geography, resources all play a role in the design.
And how work is divided up. Horizontal versus vertical.
Good point. Horizontal division means specialization at the same level increases efficiency, but maybe boredom too. Vertical division creates the hierarchy, breaking down tasks, creating levels of authority.
And those concepts.
Yeah.
Power, authority, responsibility, accountability.
Crucial distinctions. Power is influence. Authority is the right to command. Responsibility is the obligation to do the task. Accountability is being answerable for the result. And you can delegate responsibility and authority, but never accountability. That stays with the manager.
Can't pass the buck entirely.
Nope. And related to authority is centralization versus decentralization. How much decision-making power is kept at the top versus pushed down?
Pros and cons to both.
Definitely. Centralization gives tight control, consistency. Decentralization empowers employees, can lead to faster decisions, lower down, more adaptability.
Delegation seems key for decentralization. Why is it so important?
Managers delegate to free up their own time for strategic work, develop their people skills, build confidence, distribute workload efficiently. It's how authority flows down the hierarchy.
What happens if managers don't delegate well?
They get overloaded. Employees feel underutilized, maybe frustrated, decisions bottleneck. It really hinders effectiveness.
So are there basic principles for good organizational structure.
Yes. Things like delegation authority parity give enough authority for the delegated task. Unity of command, ideally. Report to only one boss. Scalar principle, a clear line of authority from top to bottom. Span of management, how many people one manager can effectively supervise depends on complexity, skills, etc.
Building blocks of structure.
Division of work, departmentalization, grouping jobs, line staff roles, use of committees, the overall type, hierarchical, matrix, organic. Coordination and differentiation are key concepts too.
You mentioned departmentalization, grouping jobs. How do companies do that?
Several common ways: by function, marketing, finance; by product or service; by geography or region; by customer type; by process or equipment used, sometimes even by product lifecycle stage.
Lots of options. And matrix and organic structures, briefly.
Matrix combined structures like functional and project employees report to two bosses. Flexible, but can be complex. Organic structures are less rigid, more flexible, decentralized, better for fast-changing environments compared to more traditional bureaucratic ones.
Okay. Planning, leading, organizing.
Mm.
The last big function was controlling, making sure things stay on track.
Exactly. Control is about ensuring performance stays within acceptable limits aligned with plans. It needs standards, measurement, comparison, and corrective action.
How do managers exert control?
Through various means. Leadership itself is a control. Organizational culture guides behavior. Policies and procedures set boundaries. Control can be centralized or decentralized. Empowerment. Encouraging employee self-control. Using MBO.
So, keeping the ship steered correctly, how does communication fit into control?
It's absolutely vital. Control relies on information, data, facts, insights to monitor performance. Communication is how that information flows.
Forms of business communication.
Loads. Big announcements, one way. Interpersonal, one-on-one. Top-down instructions, the grapevine, informal. Written reports, emails, meetings. Verbal, nonverbal. Electronic messages. Transparency in communication is key for buy-in on control measures.
And this gets even more complex with international business, right? Multinational versus global.
Yes. Operating internationally adds layers. Multinational usually means adapting to local markets in several countries. Global implies seeing the world as one market, more standardization.
Ways companies go international.
Ranges from simple import-export, licensing, franchising, to joint ventures, setting up foreign subsidiaries, becoming a fully integrated global corporation, or forming global alliances.
What are the key challenges or dimensions managers face internationally?
Huge ones. Different economic systems, wealth distribution, political system stability, laws. Technology access and sophistication varies wildly. And critically, sociocultural factors, values, institutions, education, social mobility. Understanding these is crucial. Plus, the history, colonialism, nationalism, the rise of MNCs.
Why take the risk? Why go international?
Good reasons. Access to resources, bigger markets, potentially higher ROI, getting around trade barriers, leveraging unique advantages. But the risks are real too.
Such as
Trade barriers, different tastes, risk of assets being seized, expropriation, currency fluctuations, human rights issues, protecting patents, quotas, getting profits back home, repatriation, inflation, staffing challenges. It's complex.
so clear communication's even more critical globally.
Absolutely essential. Clear language, minimize jargon, recognize cultural perceptions, active listening, careful feedback, reading nonverbal cues, which vary, understanding information processing differences.
Okay, so control isn't just formal systems. What else influences it?
Legitimacy does the organization act acceptably. Laws and ethics provide boundaries. Stakeholders exert pressure. Then you have the tech side. Computer-based information systems, open closed loop, feedback, feed-forward controls.
Think specific operational controls, numbers and stuff.
Loads of quantitative controls. Budgeting, financial ratios, cash flow analysis, pro forma statements, EVA, economic value added, auditing for production, PRDCPM Gantt charts for scheduling, MRPJIT for inventory production, quality control in manufacturing, process, batch, in services, sales, service levels, project control using WBS, CPMPERT, CTP reports.
And strategic control, checking the big picture.
Yes, evaluating if the overall strategy is working. An effective control system needs to be clear on what's measured, how much info is needed, when, how it's measured, the quality of info, its impact, and cost versus benefit.
Wow, okay. The workplace itself has changed so much. How is management adapting to today's realities?
Big changes. The old model of job security for life, pretty much gone. More contract work, project-based roles, can lead to less loyalty sometimes.
So what can managers offer?
Incentives like cross-training, skill development, seminars, Flexibility is huge: hours, leave, childcare support. We see more temporary freelance workers, often remote, and more full-time teleworkers, too. Managing these different arrangements takes new skills.
Communication oversight.
Yep. And diversity, cultural, racial, gender, religious, requires real focus on inclusion, accommodation, sensitivity, internally and externally, especially globally.
And technology's impact.
Double-edged sword. Boosts efficiency, but potential for overload, blurred work-life lines via social media, constant connection. Managers need to help manage tech overwhelm, set boundaries, ensure security for remote workers, and integrate things like automation thoughtfully.
Seems like managers themselves need constant learning. And what about ethics?
Absolutely. Continuous training for managers is vital. Supervision skills, customer service, communication, meetings, appraisals. It never stops.
How do they get trained?
On-site, mentorship, lateral moves for experience, off-site options too, American Management Association, AMA, professional groups, university courses. Using experienced managers as internal trainers is good, but need to consider their time and maybe compensate them.
And ethics. Seems more important than ever.
Hugely important. Ethics is about moral obligation, principles. Morality is right versus wrong. Business decisions affect so many people, so ethics is critical. Customers are watching more closely too. Many firms have codes of conduct now. Antitrust, consumer protection, advertising, safety, human rights, environment, government dealings. Lots of areas. The manager's role is to ensure people know the code, understand it, and to address lapses.
How do you address an ethical lapse?
Usually a process.
Mm.
Identify the issue and person involved. Look at alternatives. Who is affected? What are the benefits and harms of each option? What rules or principles apply? Then reason through to a course of action.
It requires careful thought.
Definitely. And resources like AMA and professional associations offer ethics training too.
This has been incredibly thorough. We've covered so much ground, from the definition and history right through to the complexities of leadership, structure, control, HR, and the modern workplace.
It really is a multifaceted field, isn't it? Constantly evolving. We've tried to hit the key theories, the core functions, and the practical realities managers face today. Hopefully for you, our listener, this gives a solid framework for understanding how organizations work and the roles people play within them.
Absolutely, it provides that foundation. So, as you think about everything we've discussed, here's something to ponder. Looking ahead, with technology changing so fast and societal expectations shifting, what do you think will be the single most critical skill for managers to develop over the next, say, 10 years?
That's a great question to leave people with.
Or maybe think about it this way. Regardless of your own role right now, how could you apply some of these management principles maybe around planning, communication, or even just understanding group dynamics to navigate your own work life more effectively?
Yeah, how can you use these ideas yourself?
Because this deep dive, really, it's just scratching the surface. We hope it sparked your interest to explore further, to keep learning about the fascinating world of management.